I never thought my life would turn out like this. I used to think people who said that were just being dramatic. Like, yeah, life's hard, whatever. Everybody struggles. That's what I told myself back then. Back when I still thought struggle meant something temporary. Like a bad year. Or a rough patch. Something you get through and then joke about later. Now I'm sitting in my car at almost 4 in the morning, engine off, phone screen cracked, just staring at nothing. I didn't even drive anywhere. I just came down here so I wouldn't wake anyone up. Not that anyone would notice if I did. The parking lot's quiet. One light flickering near the dumpster. Same light that's been flickering for months. Maintenance never fixes it. Kind of feels on brand. I work early tomorrow. Or today, I guess. Alarm's set for 6:10. I already know I'm gonna hit snooze until the last possible second. I always do. Not because I'm tired. I mean, I am tired, but it's deeper than that. It's like, waking up feels pointless. Like I'm just restarting the same day I've already lived 1,000 times. Same bus. Same cracked sidewalk. Same dude outside the corner store asking for change. Same job that barely pays rent and definitely doesn't pay dignity. I never thought this would be my life. Not like this. Not this quiet. Not this empty. Growing up, we didn't have much. I don't say that in a sad violin way. It was just facts. Old couch. Second-hand clothes. Lights getting cut off once or twice a year. I learned early how to pretend everything was fine. Learned how to laugh when people joked about money. Learned how to say I'm good even when I wasn't. My parents were tired people. Worked all the time. Argued quietly. Loved us in practical ways. Food on the table. Roof overhead. But emotionally? Nah. That part was kinda missing. No hugs for no reason. No I'm proud of you moments. Just expectations. Don't mess up. Don't embarrass us. Don't make life harder than it already is. So I learned to be small. Stay out the way. Handle my own stuff. School was, whatever. I wasn't dumb. I just didn't care. Or maybe I cared too much and didn't know where to put it. Teachers always said I had potential. That word followed me forever. Potential. Like a ghost. Like something I was supposed to grow into but never did. After graduation, life didn't open up. It narrowed. I took whatever job would hire me. Retail first. Folding clothes I couldn't afford. Smiling at customers who treated me like furniture. Managers talking to me like I was lucky to be there. Like they were doing me a favor paying me barely enough to eat. I told myself it was temporary. Everybody does. Just until I figure things out. That sentence has been living in my head for years now. I tried community college. Dropped out. Tried again. Dropped out again. Not because I was lazy. I just couldn't see the point. Sitting in classrooms listening to people talk about futures that felt fake. Careers. Goals. 5-year plans. I couldn't even picture next month. Somewhere along the way, everyone else started moving forward. Getting married. Getting promoted. Having kids. Posting pictures where they look alive. Meanwhile, I was still counting quarters for laundry, still avoiding mirrors, still telling myself I'd start really living once things settled down. They never did. I met her around that time. Not in some cute story way. Just through mutual friends. She laughed at my jokes. Like, really laughed. That kind of laugh that makes you feel seen for half a second. I didn't even realize how lonely I was until she showed up. Being with her felt quiet in a good way. Like sitting on the floor eating cheap takeout, TV on but muted, just existing together. No pressure. No pretending. For the first time in a long time, I felt like maybe life wasn't completely pointless. But love doesn't fix everything. It just highlights the cracks. I was broke. Tired. Emotionally unavailable without meaning to be. I didn't know how to talk about feelings without joking them away. She needed reassurance. I didn't know how to give it. Not because I didn't care, but because nobody ever taught me how. We started drifting before I even noticed. Texts got shorter. Conversations felt forced. She'd ask what was wrong and I'd say nothing because I didn't have the words. Or the energy. Eventually she stopped asking. The day she left wasn't dramatic. No yelling. No crying on the floor. Just her standing there, keys in her hand, saying she couldn't keep waiting for me to become someone else. I nodded like I understood. Like I wasn't dying inside. After that, everything got quieter. Too quiet. I'd come home from work, kick off my shoes, sit on the edge of the bed, and just stare. Hours would pass like that. Phone in my hand. No messages. No missed calls. Just time slipping by. That's when it really hit me. This wasn't a phase. This wasn't a rough patch. This was my life. And I didn't know how to fix it. After she left, people kept asking how I was doing. Not in a real way. Just that automatic thing people say so they don't feel awkward. How you holding up? You good, bro? Staying busy? I learned real quick the correct answer was always, yeah, I'm straight. Say it with a shrug. Keep it light. Don't make it weird. Truth was, I wasn't straight. I wasn't even bent. I was just hollow. Like someone scooped something out of me and forgot to put anything back. Days started bleeding together. Wake up. Work. Come home. Microwave something. Sit on the bed. Scroll. Fall asleep with the TV on so the silence wouldn't get too loud. Repeat. Weekends were the worst. No structure. No excuse to get out of bed. I'd wake up around noon, stare at the ceiling, and feel this heavy pressure in my chest like I forgot something important. But there was nothing to remember. Nothing waiting for me. Sometimes I'd replay old moments in my head. Not even the good ones. Just random stuff. Her sitting on the counter swinging her feet. The way she'd say my name when she was tired. How she used to rest her head on my shoulder when we watched movies she'd already seen. I'd tell myself, let it go. Like that's something you can just decide. Money got tighter. Always does. Rent went up. Hours got cut. Managers started talking about team morale while scheduling me for less shifts. I nodded like I cared. I started taking the bus instead of driving to save gas. Same bus every morning. Same cracked vinyl seats. Same smell of old coffee and damp jackets. Same tired faces staring out the window like they were all thinking the same thing. I'd watch people get off at their stops and wonder what their lives looked like. Who was waiting for them? What they were rushing home to. Then my stop would come and I'd step off into nothing special. Work didn't hate me. That almost made it worse. It was just neutral. Clock in. Do the thing. Clock out. No growth. No future. Just enough responsibility to keep me stressed and not enough pay to make it worth it. Sometimes I'd catch my reflection in the bathroom mirror at work. Fluorescent lights. Dark circles under my eyes. Same hoodie I've had for years. I barely recognize myself. I used to have opinions. Dreams. Anger, even. Now everything felt muted. Like life was playing on low volume and I couldn't find the remote. Friends stopped inviting me out after a while. Not out of malice. I just kept saying no. Or maybe. Or not responding until it was too late. It's hard to explain to people that you don't want to be alone, but you also don't want to be around anyone. Nights were the hardest. That's when my brain would get loud. When all the what-ifs showed up. What if I tried harder? What if I didn't shut down? What if I wasn't so tired all the time? What if I'm just broken? I'd lie there listening to neighbors argue through thin walls. Someone's TV laughing track. A siren in the distance. Life happening everywhere except inside me. I never thought about ending things. Not seriously. It was more like, I just didn't care if I woke up or not. Like if something happened, I'd shrug and be like, yeah, that tracks. I know that sounds messed up. But it's honest. One night, I sat on the kitchen floor eating cold leftovers straight from the container. Didn't even bother with a plate. Just leaned against the cabinet and ate in silence. That's when it hit me how low-key sad my life had become. Not tragic. Not dramatic. Just sad in a quiet, embarrassing way. I thought about calling her. Just to hear her voice. Just to feel real for a second. I even typed the text. Deleted it. Typed it again. Deleted it again. I knew better. She had already moved on. I was just a chapter she closed. Meanwhile, I was still stuck on the same page. Months passed. Seasons changed. I barely noticed. The world kept going. People kept growing. I stayed the same. Sometimes I wonder if this is it. If this is all my life's ever gonna be. Not a rock bottom. Just a long, flat stretch of nothing. I still show up. Still pay my bills. Still act like I'm okay. That's the wild part. From the outside, I look functional. Responsible. Normal. Inside? I feel like I'm just killing time until something changes. Or until I stop expecting it to. I never thought my life would turn out like this. Not loud. Not ruined. Just quietly unfinished. At some point, I stopped marking time by dates. It wasn't Monday or Thursday anymore. It was just workday or not workday. Even holidays lost their shape. Days off didn't feel like breaks. They felt like empty space I didn't know what to do with. I remember one morning, standing in line at the grocery store, holding a basket with the same 3 things I always buy. Cheap bread. Eggs. Whatever's on sale. The cashier asked how my day was going. I said, can't complain. I don't even know why I said that. I complain in my head all the time. But out loud? Nah. Out loud, I'm fine. Out loud, I'm easy. Out loud, I don't take up space. That's something I learned young. Don't be a burden. Don't ask for too much. Don't let people see how bad it really is. So I keep it light. Crack jokes. Laugh at stuff that isn't funny. Make myself digestible. Then I go home and feel absolutely nothing. Some nights I drink. Not in a wild way. Not to party. Just enough to take the edge off. Just enough to make the room feel softer. I don't even like the taste. I just like the way it slows everything down. I'll sit there with a half-empty glass, TV on low, scrolling through old photos on my phone. Pictures from years ago when I still had light in my eyes. When my smile didn't feel forced. I don't recognize that person anymore. I keep thinking about how nobody warns you about this part of life. Nobody tells you that one day you'll wake up and realize you've been surviving so long you forgot what you were surviving for. When I was younger, I thought adulthood meant freedom. Turns out it mostly means responsibility without direction. Bills without purpose. Work without pride. I tried switching jobs once. Thought maybe that was the problem. New place. Same feeling. Different walls, same emptiness. I tried working on myself. Gym for a month. Quit. Journaling for a week. Forgot about it. Meditation videos that just made me more aware of how restless I was. People online make it sound so easy. Just grind. Just heal. Just choose happiness. Yeah. Sure. Some nights I'll lie in bed and imagine an alternate version of my life. One where I made different choices. One where I didn't give up so early. One where I wasn't so scared of failing that I never really tried. In those versions, I'm not rich or famous or anything. I'm just, okay. I come home to someone. I have a reason to cook real meals. I sleep through the night. Then my alarm goes off and I'm back here. There's this moment every morning where I sit on the edge of the bed and debate calling out. Not because I'm sick. Just because I don't want to exist for 8 hours in a place that drains me. But I always go. I always go. Because rent doesn't care how you feel. Bills don't care if you're tired. Life keeps charging you either way. I've noticed I've started talking to myself more. Not out loud. Just in my head. Running commentary. Like I'm trying to keep myself company. You got this. Just get through today. Don't think too far ahead. Sometimes I wonder if people can tell. If they can see the wear on me. The way I move slower now. The way my eyes don't light up anymore. Or maybe everyone feels like this and we're all just pretending we don't. That thought scares me more than being alone. Because if this is normal, then what's the point? I still think about her sometimes. Less intensely now. More like a dull ache. Like an old injury that flares up when the weather changes. I don't miss her as much as I miss who I was when I was with her. I miss having something to look forward to. Now the future feels like a hallway with no doors. Just more days that look like today. More mornings I don't want to wake up. More nights I stay up too late because sleep feels like time travel to another workday. I never thought my life would turn out like this. Not because something terrible happened. But because nothing did. And somehow, that feels worse. There's a specific kind of tired that sleep doesn't touch. I didn't know that growing up. Back then, tired meant you needed a nap. Or a weekend. Or maybe a vacation you couldn't afford. Now tired feels like it's stitched into me. Like it's part of who I am, not something I can shake off. I notice it in small ways. How I sigh before doing basic stuff. How I sit in my car after work instead of going straight inside. How I reread the same sentence 5 times and still don't process it. I'm not lazy. I know that. I do what I'm supposed to do. I show up. I pay bills. I don't fall apart in public. But inside, everything feels heavy. Even things that shouldn't. One night, I ran into an old friend at a gas station. Someone I hadn't seen in years. We did that fake surprise thing. Yo, no way. Man, it's been forever. He asked what I'd been up to. I froze for half a second. What have I been up to? I gave him the short version. Work. Same place. Same grind. Asked about him instead. He talked about his job, his girl, moving into a new apartment. Normal stuff. Good stuff. I nodded. Smiled. Said I was happy for him. And I meant it. I really did. But when I got back in my car, that feeling hit me again. That quiet comparison. That sense of being left behind without anyone meaning to leave you. It's not jealousy exactly. It's more like grief. Grief for a life you thought you'd have by now. I drove home in silence. No music. Just road noise and my thoughts. Those are the nights that stretch the longest. When your brain won't shut up but also won't say anything useful. I keep thinking about how invisible I've become. At work, I'm reliable. That's my whole personality there. Not funny. Not memorable. Just reliable. The kind of person people only notice if I mess something up. In my family, I'm the quiet one. The one who doesn't cause problems. The one who doesn't ask for help. They think I'm strong. I don't correct them. If I'm being honest, part of me likes being invisible. There's no pressure when no one expects anything from you. No disappointment. No explaining why you're still stuck in the same place. But another part of me hates it. Hates feeling like if I disappeared tomorrow, life would just adjust. Schedules would change. Shifts would be covered. Conversations would move on. Sometimes I test it. Go quiet for a few days. Don't text anyone. Don't post anything. Just vanish a little. Nobody really notices. I'm not mad at them. I get it. Everyone's busy. Everyone's dealing with their own stuff. Still hurts though. Even when you understand it, it hurts. Late at night, I'll sit on my bed and listen to the building settle. Pipes knocking. Footsteps above me. Someone laughing somewhere down the hall. Life happening through thin walls. I'll think about all the versions of me that could have existed. The me who took risks. The me who left town. The me who didn't play it safe every single time. I don't blame anyone for how my life turned out. That's the messed up part. There's no villain. No single moment everything went wrong. Just a bunch of small choices made out of fear and exhaustion. And now here I am. Still breathing. Still functioning. Still feeling like I missed something important. People talk about rock bottom like it's dramatic. Like you hit it and bounce back. This doesn't feel like that. This feels like floating. Not drowning. Not swimming. Just stuck in place. Some mornings, I catch myself wishing for something bad to happen. Not because I want pain. But because at least it would be something. At least it would make sense why I feel this way. Then I feel guilty for thinking that. So I push it down and keep going. That's my real talent, I guess. Pushing things down. I never thought my life would turn out like this. Not broken enough to fix. Not whole enough to enjoy. Just quietly, ongoing. I started noticing how much effort it takes just to act normal. Like, there's this invisible checklist I run through every day. Don't look too tired. Don't sound annoyed. Laugh when it's expected. Answer good when someone asks how you're doing. It's exhausting. Not physically. Mentally. Emotionally. Like I'm constantly performing a version of myself that's easier for other people to deal with. At work, someone once told me, "You're always so calm." I almost laughed. Calm isn't what this is. This is just me being empty enough that nothing shows on the surface. When you don't feel much, it's easy to look composed. There was a day I messed up something small. Nothing serious. Just a minor mistake. Manager pulled me aside, talked to me in that fake concerned voice. Said, "You good lately? You seem a little off." That was it. That was the opening. I could have said something. Anything. Could have told the truth. Instead I said, "Yeah, just tired." He nodded like that explained everything. Because in this world, being tired is acceptable. Being lost isn't. After that, I stopped hoping anyone would notice. It's easier when you don't expect to be seen. I go weeks without touching another human being. Not counting accidental bumps on the bus or a cashier handing me change. I didn't realize how much that messes with your head. How touch-starved you can get without even knowing it. Sometimes I'll sit on the couch and wrap my arms around myself. Just for pressure. Just to feel grounded. I hate admitting that. Feels pathetic. But it's real. Nights stretch longer now. I'll check the time thinking it's gotta be late, and it's only 11:47. Midnight feels like a promise of quiet. Like the world finally stops asking things of me. That's when I start thinking too much. About how I don't really have memories anymore. Just routines. Days that blur together. When someone asks what I did last weekend, I have to think hard. Most of the time, the answer is nothing. Not in a fun, relaxing way. Just nothing. I used to love music. Can't remember the last time I felt something from a song. Now it's just background noise to fill the silence. Same with TV. Same with everything. Sometimes I worry this is permanent. That I've crossed some invisible line and this numb version of me is the final one. I try not to think too far ahead. The future feels heavy. Like a weight I don't have the strength to carry. So I shrink my world down to today. Sometimes just to the next hour. Get through this shift. Get through this bus ride. Get through this night. I tell myself that's enough. But late at night, when I'm alone with my thoughts, I can't ignore the question that keeps coming back. Is this really it? Not in a dramatic, end-of-the-world way. Just in a quiet, almost curious way. Like I'm observing my own life from a distance and wondering how it ended up so small. I never imagined myself like this. Invisible. Unremarkable. Just another tired person trying to make it to the end of the month. I thought I'd be more by now. Or at least feel like I mattered to someone. Instead, I feel like I'm just here. Taking up space. Waiting. For what? I don't even know. I never thought my life would turn out like this. Still breathing. Still going. Still not sure why. I think the hardest part is realizing how quiet your world gets when you stop expecting things. No big disappointments anymore. No real excitement either. Just this flat line of existence that never really spikes or crashes. It's safer that way. Less painful. Also, kind of dead. I used to check my phone constantly. Waiting for messages. Notifications. Anything. Now I check it out of habit, not hope. Same apps. Same empty inbox. Group chats that died years ago. People I swore I'd keep in touch with drifting further away until it felt weird to reach out. So I don't. I tell myself everyone's busy. Everyone's got their own lives. Which is true. But sometimes I wonder if I disappeared completely, how long it would take before someone noticed something was off. That thought sticks with me more than I want it to. One night, I stayed up scrolling through job listings. Not because I had energy or motivation. Just because I needed to believe something else was possible. I bookmarked a few. Never applied. Same cycle I always fall into. Looking without moving. Fear shows up like that. Quiet. Convincing. It doesn't scream at you. It just whispers that it's safer to stay where you are, even if where you are is slowly killing you. I've been playing it safe my whole life. Safe job. Safe answers. Safe distance from people. And somehow I still feel like I'm losing. Sometimes I think back to childhood. To the version of me who thought adulthood meant control. Choice. Freedom. I wish I could sit that kid down and tell them the truth. That sometimes you don't fail big. You just fade. Nobody claps when that happens. Nobody pulls you aside. You just become background noise in your own life. I caught myself crying once. No warning. No breakdown. Just sitting on the edge of the bed, staring at the wall, tears falling quietly. Didn't even know what I was crying about. That scared me more than anything. Because if you don't know what hurts, how are you supposed to fix it? I wiped my face, took a breath, and kept going. That's what I do. That's what I've always done. Keep going. Some people call that strength. I'm not sure anymore. Sometimes it feels like I'm just too tired to stop. I don't dream much now. When I do, they're boring dreams. Work. Conversations that go nowhere. Walking through places I don't recognize but somehow know I've been before. I wake up feeling like I never really rested. Morning comes too fast. It always does. There's a moment when I'm brushing my teeth, staring at my reflection, where I barely recognize myself. Same face. Same eyes. But something's missing. Like the part of me that used to care ran out quietly and nobody noticed. I still tell myself things might change. Not in a hopeful way. More like a habit. Something people say so they don't lose their mind. Things will get better. Just keep pushing. One day you'll look back. I don't know if I believe any of that. But I repeat it anyway. Because the alternative feels too heavy to sit with for too long. I never thought my life would turn out like this. Not loud. Not tragic. Just slowly wearing me down day by day. And the scariest part? I'm starting to get used to it. Getting used to it is what scares me the most. The numbness doesn't feel sharp anymore. It doesn't demand attention. It just settles in, like dust you stop noticing after a while. You still breathe it in. You just don't react. I've stopped asking myself big questions. Stuff like what do I want? Or where am I going? Those questions feel rude now. Like they're asking too much from someone who's already tired. So I keep things small. What do I need to do today? What can I ignore until tomorrow? How late can I stay up before it ruins the morning? That's my range now. There's this spot on the bus where the window doesn't quite close right. Cold air slips in during winter. I always end up sitting there. I don't move. I just pull my jacket tighter and stare out at streets I've memorized without meaning to. Same mural. Same closed-down store. Same cracked pavement. I wonder how many years I've been passing the same places without actually going anywhere. One time, an older guy sat next to me. He smelled like cigarettes and aftershave. He asked me what I did for work. I told him. He nodded, like he'd already guessed. Then he said, "Time goes fast if you're not careful." I didn't know what to say to that. Still don't. Sometimes I feel like time isn't moving fast enough. Other times it feels like it's already gone. I scroll through social media less now. Not because I'm healed or disciplined. It just started making me feel worse. Seeing people announce milestones like life is a checklist everyone else got a copy of. Engaged. Promoted. Moved cities. New baby. New house. Meanwhile, I'm proud of myself for doing laundry before I run out of clean socks. I don't tell anyone that. You're not supposed to measure life like that. At night, when I finally turn the lights off, I lie there listening to my own breathing. I try to slow it down. Try to feel present. Sometimes I imagine someone's lying next to me. Not in a sexual way. Just another body. Another heartbeat. Someone to exist beside. The bed always stays cold. I tell myself I should put myself out there. Date again. Meet people. Try. But even the idea feels exhausting. Explaining myself. Pretending to be interesting. Acting like I know what I'm doing with my life. I don't want to lie. But I don't want to tell the truth either. So I stay where I am. There are moments, small ones, where I feel something break through. A song in a grocery store. A kid laughing too hard at nothing. Sunlight hitting the floor just right in the afternoon. It only lasts a second. But for that second, I feel human again. Then it passes. Everything always passes. I don't think I'm depressed in the way people expect. I still get up. Still function. Still laugh sometimes. It's more like I'm disconnected. Like I'm watching my own life through thick glass. People say, you gotta find your purpose. I don't even know where you're supposed to look for that. I never thought my life would turn out like this. Not falling apart. Not getting better. Just suspended in between. Like I'm waiting for a moment that never shows up. There's this weird moment that happens sometimes, usually late at night, when I suddenly become very aware that I'm alive. Not in a grateful way. More like, oh, I'm still here. I'm still doing this. I'll be lying in bed, phone face down, room dark except for the streetlight leaking through the blinds, and it hits me that this is what my life looks like right now. No background music. No montage. Just me breathing in a room that doesn't feel like home, waiting for sleep to take me somewhere else for a few hours. Sleep's not even rest anymore. It's escape. Temporary blackout. I wake up every morning with that same split second of confusion. For just a moment, I don't remember who I am or what my life looks like. Then it all rushes back. The job. The bills. The loneliness. The quiet disappointment. That's the part nobody warns you about. That instant when reality reloads. Some people wake up excited. Or motivated. Or at least neutral. I wake up already tired. Like I've been carrying something heavy in my sleep. I don't talk about this stuff out loud. Not really. When people ask what's new, I give them updates that don't matter. Same old. Can't complain. Just working a lot. It's easier than explaining that I feel like I missed the part of life where you learn how to want things. I remember being a kid and thinking adults had it figured out. That they knew what they were doing. Now I look around and realize most of us are just improvising. Some people just hide it better. At work, I overhear conversations about weekend plans, vacations, stuff people are saving up for. I nod along like I'm part of that world. In reality, I'm just trying to make it to the next paycheck without overdrafting. Money stress sits in the back of my mind constantly. Even when I'm not actively thinking about it, it's there. Like static. Every decision runs through it. Can I afford this? Do I really need that? What if something unexpected happens? There's no safety net. No backup plan. Just me. That kind of pressure changes you. Makes you cautious. Makes you smaller. Sometimes I catch myself daydreaming about running away. Not to anywhere specific. Just away. New city. New name. Clean slate. Nobody knowing who I used to be. Nobody expecting anything from me. Then reality taps me on the shoulder and reminds me I can barely afford rent, let alone a whole new life. So I stay. I've started noticing how much silence I live with. Whole days where I barely speak. A hey here. A thanks there. That's it. My voice feels unfamiliar sometimes, like I don't use it enough. When I do talk to people, I listen more than I speak. Not because I'm wise. Just because I don't know what to say anymore. My life doesn't feel worth describing. I don't have stories. I have routines. Wake up. Go to work. Come home. Kill time. Sleep. Repeat. Every now and then, someone will say, "You ever think about the future?" I lie. I say, "Yeah, all the time." The truth is, I avoid it. Thinking too far ahead makes my chest tighten. Makes me feel like I'm standing at the edge of something I can't cross. The future feels like a place I'm not invited to. I still remember the last time I felt genuinely excited about something. I can't tell you exactly when it was, but I remember the feeling. That lightness. That sense of this matters. I miss that more than anything. Now, even good things feel muted. Like they happen behind glass. I know I should be happy sometimes. I just don't feel it the way I used to. There's a part of me that wonders if this is punishment for something. For not trying harder. For giving up too early. For letting fear make decisions for me. But punishment implies intention. And life doesn't feel intentional. It just feels indifferent. I don't think I'm special in my sadness. That might be the worst part. I think there are a lot of people like me. Quietly tired. Quietly disappointed. Living lives that don't look broken enough to fix. We blend in. We show up. We keep going. Sometimes I think about calling my parents more often. Telling them how I really feel. But then I imagine the worry in their voices. The guilt. The awkward silence when they don't know what to say. So I don't. I let them think I'm okay. I've gotten good at protecting other people from the truth about me. Late at night, when the world feels paused, I let myself feel it all for a minute. The loneliness. The regret. The what-ifs. I don't fight it. I just sit with it. Then morning comes, and I put everything back where it belongs. I don't know what I'm waiting for anymore. A sign. A break. A version of me that suddenly knows what to do. I never thought my life would turn out like this. Not dramatic enough for sympathy. Not hopeful enough for inspiration. Just real. Just heavy. Just quietly, mine. I don't think I keep going because I'm hopeful. That's the lie people expect. That deep down, there's this spark. This belief that things will work out. That one day I'll wake up and feel different. I don't feel that. If I'm being honest, I keep going mostly out of habit. You do something long enough, it starts doing you back. Wake up. Get dressed. Go where you're supposed to go. Say what you're supposed to say. It becomes automatic. Like breathing. Like blinking. You don't question it. You just do it. Some days, that scares me. Because I realize I could live like this forever if nothing interrupts it. No big breakdown. No dramatic turning point. Just decades of days that feel exactly like this one. I think about that sometimes while washing dishes. Standing there with my hands in warm water, staring at the same chipped plate, the same scratched sink. I'll catch myself zoning out, and when I come back, a few minutes are just gone. Not bad gone. Not good gone. Just gone. That's how time feels now. Like something slipping through my fingers while I'm not paying attention. I remember being younger and feeling like time was slow. Summers felt endless. Nights felt long in a good way. Now weeks disappear without leaving a mark. I'll look at the calendar and feel confused, like, already? Nothing big happened. That's the problem. Sometimes I wonder if I chose this life by accident. Not actively. Just by not choosing anything else. By staying quiet. By not pushing back. By letting fear have the final say every time. Fear of failing. Fear of disappointing people. Fear of ending up worse than I already am. So I stayed put. And staying put turned into staying stuck. There's a bench near my place that I sit on sometimes when I don't want to go inside yet. It's nothing special. Just a wooden bench near a patch of grass that doesn't grow right. I'll sit there and watch cars go by. People walking dogs. Someone jogging with headphones in. Everyone looks like they're going somewhere. I'm just paused. I think about how nobody teaches you how to handle disappointment in yourself. Like, it's one thing when life screws you over. You can point at that. Blame it. Get mad. But when you're the reason you're here, when it's your own inaction, that's harder to sit with. There's no one to argue with. No one to forgive. Just you. I try to remember the last time I felt proud of myself. Not relieved. Not thank God that's over. Actual pride. It takes a while. I think that says a lot. I don't hate myself. That's another thing people assume. It's not self-hatred. It's more like distance. Like I don't feel closely connected to myself anymore. Like I'm an old acquaintance I lost touch with. Sometimes I'll look at my hands and think, these are my hands. They've been with me my whole life. Worked jobs I didn't care about. Held people who are gone now. Paid bills. Washed dishes. Scrolled endlessly. They look tired. I don't talk about loneliness the way people expect. It's not always about missing someone. A lot of the time, it's about not feeling known. Not feeling like there's a place where you can fully exhale. Even when I'm around people, there's this invisible wall. I'm present, but not really there. I listen, nod, respond. But I don't offer much of myself. I don't even know what I'd offer anymore. Late at night, I'll sometimes imagine someone asking me real questions. Not small talk. Real ones. What do you want? What are you scared of? What keeps you up? And I imagine myself freezing. Because I don't have clean answers. Just feelings that don't translate well into words. I think that's why nights hit harder. There's nothing to distract me. No roles to play. No expectations. Just me and my thoughts. That's when I feel the weight of everything I haven't said. Everything I haven't tried. Everything I've postponed for a version of myself that never showed up. I don't cry much anymore. When I do, it's quiet. quick. Like my body doesn't want to make a scene. I'll feel it rise up, my chest tightening, throat burning, and then it passes. Leaves me feeling empty but calmer. Like a storm that never fully forms. Sometimes I wonder if this is what being an adult really is. Not chasing dreams. Not finding yourself. Just learning how to live with disappointment without letting it destroy you. If that's the case, I guess I'm doing okay. I still show up. That's the thing. I show up even when I don't feel like I matter. Even when I don't feel excited. Even when I don't know why I'm doing it. There's something stubborn in that. Something quiet. Maybe that's enough for now. I never thought my life would turn out like this. Not because I expected greatness. Just because I expected more feeling. But I'm still here. Still breathing. Still moving forward, even if it's slow. And maybe that's not hope. Maybe it's just endurance. I've been thinking a lot about memory lately. Not the big ones. Not birthdays or graduations or anything people usually bring up when they talk about the past. I mean the small ones. The ones that don't sound important when you say them out loud, but somehow stuck around anyway. Like the way my mom used to fall asleep on the couch with the TV still on. One arm hanging off the side. News playing quietly to nobody. I remember walking past her late at night, turning the volume down so it wouldn't wake her. She never asked me to do that. I just did. Or sitting on the floor of my childhood room, back against the bed, listening to music through cheap headphones. The kind that only worked if you bent the wire a certain way. I didn't know what I was listening for back then. I just knew it made me feel less alone. I didn't think those moments would matter. I didn't think I'd still be carrying them around all these years later. Now, sometimes when I'm sitting in my apartment with nothing but the hum of the fridge and traffic outside, those memories drift in. Not loudly. Just enough to remind me that I've always been like this. Quiet. Observing. Existing in the in-between. I wasn't the loud kid. Wasn't the troubled one either. I was the one teachers forgot about until report card time. The one relatives described as easy. The one nobody worried about. I think that's part of why I learned to disappear so well. I learned early that if you don't cause problems, people assume you're fine. And when people assume you're fine, they stop checking. That follows you into adulthood. Nobody checks on the person who's always good. Nobody looks twice at the one who doesn't ask for help. So you stop expecting it. There are nights when I sit at the kitchen table long after I've finished eating. Plate still there. Lights dim. Just sitting. Not thinking anything specific. Just sitting. Like if I move too fast, something inside me might crack. I've gotten used to the stillness. There's a strange comfort in it. A sad kind, but real. When everything's quiet, nothing can disappoint you. Nothing can go wrong if nothing happens. That's probably not healthy. I know that. But it's honest. Sometimes I catch myself imagining the future again, even though I say I don't. Not big dreams. Just small shifts. A different job. A different apartment. Someone texting me first. Waking up and not feeling immediately exhausted by the idea of the day. I don't chase those thoughts. I let them pass. Hope feels dangerous. Hope asks for effort. Hope hurts when it doesn't work out. So I stay neutral. Neutral feels safer. I think people misunderstand what keeps someone alive. They think it's always love or purpose or passion. Sometimes it's just routine. Sometimes it's knowing how to make coffee the way you like it. Sometimes it's finishing a show because you've already watched 6 seasons and might as well see how it ends. Sometimes it's knowing your alarm will go off and you'll need to get up, and that's reason enough. I don't wake up every day wanting to be here. But I wake up every day anyway. That has to mean something. I've started noticing the way light moves through my apartment in the afternoon. How it hits the wall for about 20 minutes before disappearing. I don't know when I started paying attention to that. I just did. Maybe that's what surviving looks like when you're not sure why you're surviving. You start holding on to small things. Not because they fix anything. Just because they're there. I don't talk about this part with anyone. If I tried, I wouldn't know how to explain it without sounding dramatic or ungrateful. So I keep it to myself. Like most things. There's a part of me that still believes something could change. Not in a movie way. Not overnight. Just slowly. Quietly. The way everything else in my life has happened. I don't know what that change would look like. I don't even know if I'd recognize it if it showed up. But I'm here long enough to find out. I never thought my life would turn out like this. Not because it's unbearable. But because it's so ordinary. And somehow, I'm still standing in it. Still breathing through it. Still here. That's all I can say for sure. I didn't notice myself getting older. That sounds stupid, I know. Obviously time passes. Obviously bodies change. But I mean I didn't feel it happening. There was no moment where I looked in the mirror and thought, wow, I'm not young anymore. It was quieter than that. It showed up in little ways. Knees feeling stiff when I stand up too fast. Being more tired after a normal day. Needing a second to remember someone's name. Nothing dramatic. Just small reminders that time is still doing its thing, whether I'm paying attention or not. I think part of me thought my life would start before I got old. Like there was a waiting room I was stuck in, and eventually someone would call my name and everything would begin. Turns out, this is it. This has been it the whole time. I watch older people sometimes. On the bus. In the grocery store. Walking slowly, carefully. I wonder what their lives felt like at my age. If they had plans that didn't happen. If they ever felt this stalled. Or if they figured something out that I missed. Routine has a strange power. It dulls the sharp edges. Makes things feel manageable. Also makes years disappear without asking permission. I wake up. Same alarm tone I've had forever. Same stretch. Same sigh. I shower, get dressed, leave the apartment, lock the door. I could probably do it all with my eyes closed. There's comfort in that. There's also fear. Because routines don't ask questions. They don't care if you're happy. They just keep moving. I eat most of my meals alone now. At first, that bothered me. Felt lonely in a loud way. Now it's just normal. I don't set the table. I eat standing up sometimes. Or sitting on the couch with a plate balanced on my knee. I don't cook much. Not because I can't. Just because cooking feels pointless when there's no one to cook for. Food becomes fuel. Not an experience. That's another thing nobody warns you about. How quickly joy becomes efficiency. There are days when I don't speak until afternoon. When my voice sounds rough, like it's been sitting and used. I clear my throat and say hey like I'm reminding myself how language works. I don't feel lonely in a dramatic way anymore. It's more like a low-level hum. Always there. Easy to ignore if you stay busy enough. But when things slow down, yeah. It shows itself. I've stopped expecting my life to suddenly make sense. That expectation used to hurt. Now I just accept that some things stay unanswered. Why I feel like this. Why motivation never stuck. Why I always felt a step behind everyone else. I don't know. And maybe I never will. That used to bother me more. Now it just feels factual. I still remember being told, everything happens for a reason. I don't know if I believe that anymore. Sometimes things just happen. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes you do everything right and still end up here. That doesn't make you a failure. It just makes you human. I wish I had learned that earlier. There are nights when I sit by the window and watch lights turn off in other apartments. One by one. Like the buildings falling asleep. I imagine the lives behind those walls. Couples arguing softly. Kids refusing to go to bed. Someone laughing at a show. Then my light stays on a little longer. Eventually I turn it off too. I don't know what the next decade looks like for me. That used to terrify me. Now it just feels blank. Like a page I haven't written yet, but also haven't thrown away. I think I'm still here because, on some level, I want to know how it goes. Even if I don't expect a happy ending. Even if it stays quiet. Curiosity is a weird thing. It keeps you alive even when hope is tired. I never thought my life would turn out like this. Not loud enough to warn anyone. Not broken enough to stop everything. Just quietly aging in real time. Still here. Still breathing. Still watching the days pass. It's usually late when I start thinking about my body. Not in a mirror way. More in a noticing way. How my shoulders stay tense even when I'm lying down. How my breathing gets shallow when my thoughts speed up. How tired lives in places sleep doesn't reach. I'll be laying there, lights off, room quiet, and I can feel my heartbeat. Not fast. Not slow. Just steady. Like it's doing its job whether I care or not. That's when it hits me sometimes. My body hasn't given up on me. Even when my mind checked out. Even when motivation disappeared. Even when I stopped expecting much from life. My body kept going. It wakes me up. Feeds itself. Heals small cuts. Keeps breathing through nights I didn't think mattered. I don't know why that realization gets to me, but it does. Maybe because I've spent so long feeling disconnected from myself that I forgot there's a part of me that's still trying. Quietly. Without asking for credit. I think people imagine giving up as this big moment. A decision. A breaking point. For me, it was more like drifting. Letting days stack on top of each other until I stopped noticing the weight. But here's the thing I don't say out loud. Even in all this numbness, I've never fully wanted to disappear. I've wanted rest. I've wanted quiet. I've wanted the pressure to stop. But not non-existence. That surprised me when I realized it. There are nights I don't know what I'm holding on for. No clear reason. No future vision. Just this feeling that if I stop now, I'll miss something. And I don't even know what that something is. Maybe it's small. Maybe it's a random conversation with a stranger. A song that hits differently one night. A morning where waking up doesn't feel so heavy. A version of me I haven't met yet. I don't romanticize it. I don't believe everything happens for a reason. I don't think pain makes people stronger. I just think staying is an act. A quiet one. An uncelebrated one. There's no applause for getting through another day when nothing changes. No reward for endurance. You just do it. And then you do it again. I've learned to find comfort in strange places. The way the city sounds at 2:30 a.m. The hum of the fridge. Clean sheets. Hot water in the shower. That moment right before sleep when thoughts finally slow down. These aren't solutions. They're just anchors. And maybe that's enough for now. I don't need my life to make sense yet. I don't need a big purpose. I don't need a dramatic turnaround. I just need to stay. Stay curious. Stay breathing. Stay long enough to see what tomorrow feels like. Some days that's easy. Some days it's not. But I'm still here. I never thought my life would turn out like this. Not because it's tragic. Not because it's inspiring. But because it's unfinished. And as long as it's unfinished, I guess there's still time. So tonight, I'll turn off the light. I'll lie still. I'll let my body do what it knows how to do. And tomorrow, if I wake up, I'll try again. Not better. Not stronger. Just here. And for now, that's enough.